pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Brooke, take some roll for us, please.
Commissioner Case. Commissioner Garvelia. Commissioner Story. Commissioner Cochran.
Present.
Mayor Massersohn.
Present. Reading and approval of minutes. You guys have had time to read through the minutes from the regular meeting on February 26th. I didn't see anything in there that needed to change, no decapitation of houses. So
There you go.
with that noted, I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I second it.
Commissioner Case. Commissioner Garvelia.
Yes.
Commissioner Story.
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran.
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn.
Yes. All right, this evening we're going to start moving down under public affairs. You'll see item E, and it says discussion and approval of proposal from CIMEC regarding electric aggregation. We have Reg here with us this evening. This is who we have our electric through right now, and he's done a phenomenal job as always. So we appreciate that. He had approached us about the possibility of CIMEC doing a little restructuring internally on how they approach and put out to bid to try to find the best electric rate for us. Am I saying that correctly?
Correctly.
And so I have him here this evening, and so all we really need from the council is just approval for him to be able to do that. Would you like to share just a word or two about what that looks like in that restructuring process?
Sure.
If you would mind, please stand at our podium so that, anyone on, there you go.
Yes.
It's probably not even. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only thing this does is give us the opportunity to work more closely with the supplier. The contracts we have, there are no differences in those. People still have every right to opt out. The contracts, terms and conditions, the rates, everything remains the same that the city has had approved. And so it's basically just giving us the ability to be more nimble in the market, in a market that's been extremely volatile in both the invested capital costs. We mitigated that last time, which worked. And also, right now, we're talking about the energy component, the largest component of the rate. We'd be better able to get a better rate by this amendment to our contract.
So it makes it more real time.
Yes.
So rather than
Exactly.
putting these together, being delivered back and forth and taking extra time, he's just asking for permission to kind of restructure how they approach it so that they can be more effective and more efficient when they provide rate updates to us as we consider new contracts.
Excellent, thank you, very well done.
That's because you explained it better than I can.
You-
Thank you.
yes, sir.
We just need a motion to adopt the amendment to the master agreement.
There you go.
I so moved.
I'll sign it.
Commissioner Case.
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia.
Yes.
Commissioner Story.
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran.
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn.
Yes. Easy enough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure. All right, back to item number 4, public property report. Commissioner Garvelia.
Okay, I have a purchase order and it is for the preventative maintenance agreement for the elevator in the amount of $650. Make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Commissioner Case.
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia.
Yes.
Commissioner Story.
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran.
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn.
Yes.
And then I also have the discussion and approval of the hiring of David Booker for the mowing term of 1 year. You have that before you, the price before you. The current price is $200. For the airport, proposed is $225, for notes, $260 current, proposed $290, and then the city hall is, for $40, and it's been changed to $45, and the nuisance yards from 40 to 45, and I do have a recommendation that I'd like to read to you, and this is from Matt Harrison at the airport. David Booker has been the airport's primary lawn care provider for the last several seasons. He has consistently provided excellent service, excellent care, mowing around airport lighting, aircraft carrying around the aircraft, carrying mandated visibility flags, etc., and all at a bottom dollar rate. In addition to being incredibly flexible with mowing schedule needs based on grow rates, he occasionally comes and does cleanup those for airport events at no charge. David's communication and professionalism has been exceptional. And so if able, the airport management would support the renewal of his contract. And so with that, I make a motion that Dave Booker's contract.
Did he go to Twin Oaks and do some free work?
Yes, he did, absolutely. He called me and said that he's gonna go out and do some cleanup out there at no charge. to the
He always
city.
does that before the mowing season, picks up all the stuff and,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll
he always
second
does.
that.
Is- But
For a
quickly,
term of 1 year.
that's like I said, is Booker aware that we're looking at 1 year, not 2 years? So
Yes, he does.
before we, as we approve it, just wouldn't know we have an amended, updated schedule here, 1 year, because it still says 2 on there.
Just for the 2024 mowing season, not 24 and 25.
Correct.
Right,
Correct.
and that's just for 1 year.
I'll second your motion.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes,
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes. Is that all? Is that all you have?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Streets and Public Improvements, Commissioner Cochran?
I don't have a lot tonight, we'll give you some updates, Wastina Street, you know, we gotta do a cleanup on that, I've had some phone calls from neighbors, wondering when we're gonna do that. The contractor has been, contacted by our engineer. March, it's a little early to do cleanup, but with the great weather, a lot of people out there, so are wanting us to get that done, so we have contacted them, and we're gonna try to get on that cleanup as soon as we can, get people's yards fixed. So that's what I'll have out there.
Thank you. Excellent. Public Health and Safety?
Yeah, got a couple of purchase orders. One is, required renovation for the Medicare billing for $709. I'll make a motion, credit card request, I'll make a motion to accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they cut up on the real estate.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
And I think that's all I got.
Accounts and Finance, please. Case.
Two payroll periods, one dated for March 1st,
That was last week.
for $108,799.48, with breakdowns of $26,650.87 from the general fund, $82,148.61 from the water and sewer revenue fund. I make a motion to approve that payroll as presented.
Second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
The next payroll you have in front of you, 7/8/22, is dated for this coming Friday, the 15th, totaling $104,823.55, with $77,668.73 from the general fund and $27,154.82 from the water and sewer revenue fund. I make a motion to approve that as presented.
Second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
And you'll have a purchase order in front of you, 7B, for checks and envelopes for our AP checks. We're about out, gotta have them. This is based on last year's pricing. We won't know a price until we actually order them. So you can see attached to the PO, you'll see the sales order from, oh no, Lisa just ordered them, never mind. Perfect. So anyway, one purchase order for checks and envelopes totaling $1,482.82. Make a motion to approve that purchase order as presented.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
No, that'll go under. Bills, we're gonna pay some bills. You have a bill breakdown. We have $310,035.66 this month, with $13,696.45 coming out of NFT. Lighter than the last couple, so that's kind of exciting. I make a motion, we pay the bills as presented.
Second.
Second it.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Item 17C, we'll handle in executive session. And then, just one update, I didn't know if Commissioner Cochran was gonna take care of it or not. We got a letter from Intercity Water that rates are going up. So, it's the nature of the beast. It looks like it's a smaller increase than what we had, this last time around, which means that when we got the call from Todd Thomas to not do a 5-year deal, it looks like it will pay off.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah,
cheaper
yeah,
than,
yeah.
than what is initially, what we initially had planned. It's gonna be a 2.8% increase for the coming year. There's a breakdown under it. We will handle this probably in a meeting, in April as far as rates,
Okay.
because that water and sewer revenue fund cannot eat an increase. They are skirting by as is now, so we will have to look at the increase of water rates, and before we get to that point, we will probably need to look at the sewer rate formula and see if it warrants a raise. I'm sure it does. I don't think that we will have to raise sewer rates as far as what that formula will tell us they need to be. But that was why we couldn't touch sewer rates last time, is because we did not follow that formula. So we'll make sure that we follow that formula if we do any type of sewer rate increase. But I think it would be best to do them all in one fell swoop.
I totally agree.
That way we don't have just staggered raises and bombarding our staff upstairs with it. And then one update I got today was, we are continuing talks as far as the online accessibility of our bills and bill payment. We've got some pretty promising information. Hopefully we can sit down next week and kind of hammer some stuff out, but there will be essentially no cost to the city implementing these services.
So this means you'll be able to see your bill online and pay your bill online.
And pay your bill online, because currently, if you use the Illinois ePay, you can only pay your bill and you have to have your bill to know the amount. This will allow you to log in and see your bill. It'll allow for a paperless delivery option, so if you don't want a paper bill, you can opt out of that.
Welcome to the 21st
So our
century.
system.
It sounds like it will, like our current billing software and meter reading system should support it, so Damien's been running that down. There's basically just 2 vendors, he got response from both of them, so it's, we're moving in the right direction on that.
Promising.
Yeah, it's very
Yes,
promising.
it is.
And
Sure
there
is.
could be some pretty good savings as far as not having to print bills, not everybody's gonna opt out. There will be a significant portion that I think will opt out of the paper bill. We don't have to worry about printing them, manpower and tearing them, postage,
It's
the
gonna come
postal
at
service
savings.
losing them. We won't have to worry about that so much anymore, so it'll be,
Yay.
again,
There'll be several that will, others probably will want to mail, but
Yeah,
we-
but-
we will cut it down.
if we cut what we do in physical by 20%, I mean, that's a 20% savings in our billing process,
I bet it'd be more than that.
which is nice. And then again, there's some nice things as far as, you can call and pay by phone, and it's through automation, like the Ameren payment, and, the fee is basically the same credit card fee we pay now, roughly, we would pass on to the consumer. That way the taxpayers wouldn't be directly liable for that, for those who don't wanna do that. But that's all I've got, for now.
Thanks for the update.
That's a great update. I love hearing that, thank you.
Positive movement.
Yes.
What about the employee compensation benefits?
We'll talk about that in executive session.
Yeah. We'll wrap that up in there. So, all right, city attorney, any updates? Okay, good. Under public affair report, as far as updates go, it's been a crazy last week or two in the city of Benton. If you've not been paying attention, haven't noticed, we have a runner-up 2A state champion basketball team, done a phenomenal job in Champaign. We've had 4 all-state track stars that now are all, not all state, they're all, what are they? All-American, thank you, that's the word. And then we have a new youth governor from right here in Benton, Illinois, which is a big deal. It's the second one they've had in the south part of the state in the last 30 years. So there's a number of things we'll be doing coming up to recognize these different individuals and these groups, proclamations, gatherings, things like that, so just be aware that'll be coming. A couple of things that I wanna mention is, in the last couple of weeks, in seemingly moving to town has put me right in the middle of all the action. 2 weeks ago, there was a fire blocking half of my house, and there was a major water main leak, not but another block away. And to see those two departments show up on a Sunday morning and then a Sunday afternoon was highly impressive. So they both stepped up and took care of their business. The eclipse is coming up. It'll be here in less than a month. And final steps of that, we're working on lining up some shirts. We've lined up our sponsors. We've got our marketing material that's gonna be going out. We have weeks of meetings coming up, engaging different groups. We're gonna be sitting down with Republic Services. I've made a big deal out of the success of an event is how we leave the community when the event is over. And so we're gonna sit down with the public and say, how do we leave this as clean as we started with? And so we're sitting down to talk with Republic, but in addition to that, we're also gonna sit down and share some of our concerns and challenges that we've had as of recent, again, with pickups, non-pickups, cans missing, things like that, so. That's about it under updates. I do have a couple purchase orders, if you look in your packet. Swinford Publication, and you'll kind of see the backstory and the email that they sent me in regards to doing a keepsake for the Benton Rangers in their run in Champaign. We're gonna do a half-page color ad for the price of $250. Need a first and second.
Well, or,
Oh, you put both of them on there.
Yeah.
I thought you guys had decided, sorry.
no, I think we could.
Perfect. So it's half page is $250 or a full color page is $300. So, and that's discussion and approval, that's either way.
I'll make a motion to do the 300.
Second.
Easy enough.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes. This is something that in our lifetime is a fairly unique experience. It's a great way to recognize the team and their accomplishments, and it's something that I know a lot of people are gonna have. If you didn't get a chance to make it to Champaign, 3/4 of the All-State Center, the State Farm Center was maroon. At the final game, it really was. It was as maroon as any other game at Rich Aaron Gym, which is pretty amazing to see our community rally around them. And then the parade procession, whatever you wanna call it, yesterday was just as impressive, so. Second purchase order from Heartland Office, as we're working to create a better conference space upstairs. We took out the big table, created a little bit more room in there. You'll see that when we go upstairs this evening. We were able to purchase a table, but we had a PO on it, and it's 22701. Get the first and the second approval of that, please.
I'll make a motion to approve that purchase order for 22701 Heartland Office Supply.
I second it.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes. Under item C, discussion on approval of accepting resignation from Airport Board Member Reese Rutland. He's been part of the board for some time. He has changed jobs, it kind of changed his location and involvement, and he reached out and said he'd like to step down. I've spoken with the airport manager, and he'll have someone new to recommend to us. He has someone in mind, but we can't recommend him until we accept Reese's resignation, so just need a motion approval for that.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes. Item D, discussion approval of strategic planning updates. This is what we're planning to do tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. It is an open meeting, the public is invited, and all of your department heads have been contacted, and all of you know that's our plan tomorrow night. The goal is to gather what your department heads, kind of what your departments are thinking and looking at in the next 1, 3, 5, 10 years. That way we can kind of pull things together, prioritize things, spend some time talking with Jim Muir today. I encourage each department head to keep it at 10 minutes or less. That way we're not there till midnight, and we get to hear from all the department heads, like, you know, if chief comes and he says, I'd like to do this, we can kind of project those things. This is also gonna help Chris as he plans the budget for the next year. And Chris does a great job looking long-term, so this kind of looks at those things down the road and helps him squirrel away money for those projects that are important to us. So looking forward to that. Tomorrow night at 5 o'clock at the Buzz, and it'll be casual. Coffee will be available, as well as some light refreshments, so we're not stuck there by ourselves. Coffee, yeah, that was number one on the list, was coffee. So just a heads up, that's tomorrow night, so we will start right at 5 o'clock. The goal would be to be about an hour and 15. Again, is to get things up on the board, and then start to pull that together, kind of see what makes sense, and where do we need to do it, and in what years we need to do it, those kind of conversations, so, I think, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'll make a motion to approve our strategic planning agenda as presented.
There you go, thank you.
Second. Yeah.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes. These next 3 items here are under Mr. Calcaterra, so I'm gonna invite him, if you'll come stand at the podium so people can see
Yeah.
you. And item E is the approval of the petition for annexation.
Yeah, this is another one of those, properties that we're receiving, in-town benefits, water rates as well as, trash service. And we notified them that, you know, they would have to opt in to annexation if they were gonna, you know, continue to receive those benefits. And so they have petitioned the city to annex their territory there into the city, and, I would give my recommendation to do so. I think I've given you guys the petition to take a look at. It's commonly known as 1208 South McLeansboro Street, so that's, property just, on the east side of McLeansboro.
Southeast corner of the intersection of Wasatina and Medway, so I need a motion a second for that.
That's ordinance 2404.
Okay.
5.
Oh, five?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2405, which is petition for annexation to 1208 South McLean District.
Don, you seconded that. Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes. Then item F, special use permit.
Yeah, item F is a special use permit, for a mobile home. We've got, one of the owners over here too, if you wanna ask any questions. This is for an existing double wide mobile home located at 611 East Gardner Street. You know, one of the things that I'm really happy about now that we're doing these, occupancy inspections is that we've actually been able to send out our inspector to take a look at the property, inspect that, so in your packet, you have not only the application, but you have the inspection report, on the property. And that has passed inspection. I've taken some pictures here of the property if you would like to, take a look at those, as well as I've been provided with, pictures of the interior of the mobile home as well. It's a really nice double wide mobile home. If you want to pass those around, take a look. If there are any questions, I think they'd be happy to answer as well for any maybe future plans for the property, but, as it is, it's a very, very nice piece of property. We never have to worry about, demolition on that or anything.
Is your recommendation to approve that?
My recommendation is to definitely approve that.
I'll make that motion to approve it.
I second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. There you go. Under item F, and I'll preface this, which I said this the last time we brought this to the council. This is a topic of conversation I didn't know that we'd ever see at the council level, but it is knocking on our door. And the state and the federal government are starting to push some things, and I think there's gonna be some changes along the way that if we don't address this next one, I think we're gonna be handed something we're not gonna like. And so we tasked zoning and planning with coming up with some recommendations. That's what Brian's gonna have. And I think the reality is, if we don't put some restrictions in place, we don't put some guidance in place, it's gonna be driven for us, and we're not gonna like the answer. And so I'm gonna hand this back to Brian, but it's in
Sure.
regards to zoning pertaining to adult use cannabis. And
Sure.
what we're not gonna do, what can, what cannot
Sure.
happen.
And I'm gonna approach this just from strictly a zoning, you know, application here. The rest you all can, you know, debate and decide. What we basically decided for cannabis is, when you look at your proposed ordinance, what you find is that it's broken down into 6 types of, organizations. One would be a craft grower, one would be a cultivation center, a dispensing organization, an infuser organization, a processing organization, and a transporting organization. And so those are all defined in the actual ordinance itself. It does a very good job of defining what those are. And, you know, the long and short of it is, where do we want to allow those types of organizations? And so what we've decided is, as a zoning and planning commission and with meetings with, you know, Tom and the mayor, we think the best place to put these types of businesses are in 2 separate zoning areas. One would be the, B5 district, which is the interstate interchange zone. And there's only actually one place in the entire city where we have that zone. And that is this area right here, which is basically the area where Pheasant Hollow is, and the, gas station and the old Birdies is that area there. And if you look at the second to last page, it shows that, in the B5 interstate interchange business district, by special use permit only, you would be able to have a dispensing organization, which means you'd be able to, open a shop that sells cannabis products, and then an abuser organization, which is a organization that, takes the, active ingredients of cannabis and puts it into food.
And these are all special use, so just
All
because
special
we're
use.
creating the zoning and kind of pushing it to the perimeter, it still has to come through the council, special use permits, all that. So it's not like we're agreeing to bring it, we're just saying this is where we want it, this is where we're allowing it, not allowing it.
This is where we're allowing it, not allowing it, all by special use, you're exactly right. And then the second would be, the I3, zone, which is this yellow zone right here, which is what we're talking about is the, airport, business park, and the, industrial park too, essentially. There's a northern area of the old industrial park that's I3, but I'm thinking from a commerce standpoint, if we had businesses that were interested in putting, a dispensary in the community, they would probably wanna do it in a more visible location and not out in the middle of an old industrial park. But that is,
I wouldn't, that
An
wouldn't
option.
even be an option.
it would, you know what I mean, that's probably not what they would want, and then the council would also have the final say on whether or not to grant a special use permit for those operations. If you do look again at that second to last page, that will show that particular zone, that industrial zone, would allow for all 6 types of cannabis organizations to be in operations there. And so that's the basically the zoning part of it. And I'm kind of with the mayor and Chris, we've had discussions about this too on what this is gonna look like going forward. This isn't necessarily saying that we have a business coming to town, but it's allowing the city to push the narrative on, what we wanna do if in the event we do get, a cannabis company to come to the city.
I think, and Tom, you can probably interject some here, with us being a home rule community, this kind of allows us to govern ourselves a little bit more and keep us outside of that governance from Chicago or Washington in the sense that we help control our own destiny in that situation, especially if it comes in, if we have a pre-existing ordinance.
Residential areas
Right.
and things like churches and schools and things like that, that may not necessarily be the case if we were to wait until it's federally legal or something like that.
And this isn't even a conversation of a pro or con, of persons for it or against it, this is more about watching out for the city and providing a way for the city to control this story.
Well, absolutely, because you can approve this ordinance and then never issue the special
Never
use
act on it,
permit.
exactly.
And you're never required to,
Correct.
because if there's laws that change, we're gonna get grandfathered most likely in that situation as a home rule municipality. So that allows us to control that at the most basic grassroots level.
Yep.
So
That's exactly right.
it's a nice buffer just for our communities. I mean, again, you may have a council that really wants it, you may have a council that really doesn't want it. And then this gives us the option to.
It's protection for it.
Yes, absolutely.
And
You're right.
the
You're
zones
right.
we've
Thank you.
chosen are obviously kind of on the tertiary of the city, they're not right in town, they're not right downtown, they're not even in,
Not
most of
next
our
to the school,
our
not
retail,
next-
Yeah.
corridors or anything like that.
Our
So-
neighbors are out to get it too, so.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Drag your feet, we lose.
Anything else, Brian?
No, I don't think so, unless you
So
have
we
any
see a
questions.
motion
for me.
approval for this.
I will make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-06 that establishes an ordinance and codes for adult use cannabis.
I second.
Commissioner Days?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Masser Smith?
Yes. Too bad I couldn't have been in ordinance book. Sorry, I had to.
2024.
There you go. Alright, moving on, any miscellaneous business from the council? Any old business? Look, we buttoned up a number of things tonight. Anything under new business?
Yeah, I got something just small. I go around town a lot, and our street sweeper guy is, people's parked on curb and gutter streets. And it's a pain in the butt for him to get around, and you can see the trash and stuff, cause they never move it. I think we ought to look into putting a certain time where you can't park, so the street sweeper guy can clean the streets.
Is there specific streets that you're thinking of?
They're all over. I don't care, you know, they're parked along the street during the day, in the morning especially, and he can't get.
Well, some of our ordinances prohibit parking on the streets. That's what I was thinking. First step is, if they're parking and they shouldn't be, we have a code enforcement person that can enforce it. So if you can, like, anyone, whoever the case may be, if they can tell us 4 or 5 streets to start with, we can start cleaning
We're
some
talking
of that
about
up.
curb and gutter streets.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not talking about old chip.
no, curb and gutter, cause,
You're talking Maple, you're talking
Yeah,
Washington, you're
yeah.
talking, yeah, Job.
Jonesboro,
Yeah.
yeah.
everywhere, you can go down and see where they're never moving.
Yeah.
The leaves and dirt and stuff is underneath it.
They're almost abandoned.
Yeah,
So
but some's not, but I think it'd be wise to keep our streets clean.
If we can get streets, blocks within streets, even better, but if we can at least get some streets, we can at least look into it, see what the code says.
Yeah, that's
And begin
that's
that
all,
process of kind of cleaning
that's
that up.
all I'm
That's
looking at.
And
you
if
know.
spring gets here, folks, we're gonna see a lot more of that. People start mowing, we're gonna start having
Yeah.
those same conversations.
Yeah,
Please cut your grass, please don't blow it in the streets, the same thing we say every one of our
Right.
citizens.
That's
to
all.
Tell people
That's
clean.
all.
So, good. Any other new business? Way to go Rangers. Any matters from the public? Yeah, need a motion to go to the,
Yeah, I make a motion, we go into executive session to discuss, 14C, discussion of possible appointment, employment, compensation.
Second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Commissioner Falcon?
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn?
yes. And those that are here, we don't know how long this will be or how long we'll be upstairs, so you're more than welcome to wait, or if we resolve any of your questions, you're more than welcome to go ahead and go. It's up to you.
let you go.
Thank you.
Talk to you in the morning about it. I'll be there. We'll talk about it.
such a wonderful job.
It was fun. I never thought, I was telling Di Winston yesterday, I never thought I'd be able to cover a Ranger basketball game at Champaign, because I'm looking through all of her pictures or all the old clippings, and it's her and Tim Ellsworth and
You know, I was up there 32 years ago, it was a case where when they went, I'm going, I don't care. I don't care if I gotta work or gotta walk, you know, but, you know, I wanted to go, but I thought, you know, just save that for the younger people.
it was.
I mean, but I've seen so many people, pictures, they set it way up in C-section and, you know, they got tickets online, they were just there, they wanted to share the moment.
The amount of kids that showed up to that reception yesterday, that had their mini basketballs and had the program and stuff like that, and like, that's what I was telling a couple of the guys Saturday afterwards, like, they don't understand, a set 16, 17, 18-year-old boys, young men, don't understand the impact that they have, and the eyes that are always watching, especially little impressionable
How about
eyes.
Brooks says, Michelle taking a bus, little kids making,
Absolutely.
putting a bunch of kids on a bus, driving to Champaign.
Don't give him a big head.
I mean, really, think about that, those kids will never forget that.
No, never.
I mean, to go up there and go in that, I mean, I have been State Farm Marina years.
And the people who showed up yesterday, I expected a crowd, I didn't expect that crowd.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
Back into.
Golf.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes. One item off of the agenda.
Item 7C, discussion and approval of employee compensation benefits. I will make a motion to approve our Tier 1 non-contractual, non-bargaining unit employee retirement incentive that affects 4 of our Tier 1 non-contractual, non-bargaining unit employees.
I will second that.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran? Mayor Masser?
I
Absolutely.
This, and I will.
And thank you all for thank you for the flowers, thank you for your prayers, and
Well,
thank you
welcome
very
back.
much.
You will. Sorry, had an influence.
And I really hated it that long.
But I don't, it's okay.